the news. Good evening. There are actually 1,169 active cases of COVID-19 in the country. 251 are on Praslin and 12 on La Digue. This brings the cumulative number of cases to 11,145, with the number of deaths which has risen to 40, with 3 foreign seafarers amongst the latest statistics. 65% of the total population have also been vaccinated. During this afternoon's press conference, the Ministry of Health launched a last appeal for people to go for their second dose of the Covishield vaccine, which will soon expire. The 4th of June is the last day that and the ICCS will be the only center administering the vaccine on Mahé.
A special call for people who have taken their first dose of vaccination, especially Covishield, to please come forward next week, by the 4th of June, which will be Friday next week. It will be the last day that you can take your second dose of Covishield. We still have quite a large number of people who have not come forward. Please do so. Otherwise, it's a missed opportunity. We've seen the benefit of vaccines through the statistics that we've presented. We'll be giving more evidence as we do a serological survey to find out the level of immunity in the community.
The project for the extension of Port Victoria is now meant to start in June 2022. This follows the Cabinet of Ministers' approval of the revised project yesterday. The project will be in 2 phases and will cost around 60 million euros. The first phase of the project will involve the construction of a quay wall of 300 meters and the dredging of the port to a depth of 13.5 meters. The port will also be extended by 10 meters seaward. Phase 2 of the project will consist of the construction of an additional 300 meters of quay wall. The minister responsible for ports and marine, Anthony Dejac, says the financing for the project has been secured from various international partners and will also be done by the Seychelles Ports Authority.
Port Victoria is the gateway to the Seychelles social economy, whereby 95% of all that we import and consume daily passes through this port prior to it arriving to your homes, to your businesses, to the shops. Everything we consume, everything that we utilize in the country goes through Port Victoria. This extension and rehabilitation of Port Victoria will be the biggest public infrastructure development. Our Port Victoria was commissioned and built more than 40 years ago. And we are now in the process of commencing its modernization and extension. The vision is for Port Victoria to handle gearless vessels, to handle containers. The current structure, as we stated, is dated, and we need a modern port. We need a port which is multi-purpose, and we need a port that can meet the economic needs of Seychelles.
And the Cabinet of Ministers has also approved for government to take over the burial services. All assets of the Cemetery Services Agency will be transferred to the Agency for the Social Protection, ASP. The staff of the Cemetery Services Agency, except for the director, will be offered employment by the ASP. Further investigation will also be undertaken concerning irregularities in the management of government funds.
The approval for the takeover follows Cabinet approval of reforms in the oversight status, institutional arrangements, operations and management of the burial services. An assessment of the activities of the Cemetery Services Agency in line with burial services revealed deficiencies which necessitated the reform approved by Cabinet. Key findings of the assessment revealed that the outsourcing of services was not done in accordance with the Public Procurement Act, and the management agreement was also deficient in other aspects. Cabinet was briefed on work undertaken to attain the set goals and targets of the results-oriented program for strengthening the quality of the social protection system in Seychelles and facilitated the planned disbursement of $13.5 million for the financial year 2021 from the World Bank. Cabinet also approved amendments to regulations under which financial institutions are required to submit certain information to the Seychelles Revenue Commission in respect of accounts held by non-residents. Cabinet approved amendments to the Revenue Administration Act to enable the Commissioner General to write off outstanding tax debts that cannot be collected for reasons including serious hardship such as bankruptcy, serious illness, and the death of the taxpayer. And Cabinet approved for the signing of an agreement between Seychelles and UNESCO on the establishment of the Institute for Early Childhood Development as a Category 2 institution under auspices of UNESCO. As a Category 2 center, ICD will play a key role in the implementation of UNESCO's strategy nationally and internationally to share their expertise and best practices with other early childhood development institutions.
Seychelles is intensifying its efforts in the fight against illegal fishing and drug trafficking in its waters. 3 recent operations where vessels were brought in and investigations were held has been described as successful by the Fisheries Minister. Earlier this month, 2 dhows were suspected of illegal fishing were intercepted, but nothing was found on board. Within weeks, 8 Chinese fishing vessels who failed to inform authorities of their presence in the Seychelles waters were also intercepted and were fined $55,000. And the most recent case is that of the local Baba Ali fishing vessel caught carrying drugs worth 20 million rupees. Minister Jean-François Ferrari says that all 3 operations are sending a clear message that government is determined to put an end to illegal activities in its waters.
It's an important action that we've done. We've sent a message to anyone or any country or any organization who thinks that it can operate illegally or do not report their activities, they will get caught. Seychelles is very serious in the business of fighting illegal, unreported fishing and fighting against drug trafficking in the Indian Ocean. This is the message we want to send, and I think those 3 incidents, all of them were successful, and all of them point in the same direction. Do not mess with Seychelles because you will get caught.
And the police have reported that the French national suspected in the death of his 32-year-old wife, who was reported on the 27th of April at the Club Med Hotel on Ile Sainte-Anne, has been formally charged for murder by the Supreme Court yesterday. In a press release, the police said the judge has requested that the accused remains in police custody until his next court appearance on the 8th of June. And with this, we come to the end of this news summary. Thanks for watching.